start. And we are back again and reading some more Equestrian Eveelutions. And this chapter is a real tongue twister. Tracking the trackers, tracking trackers. Oh god. This is a little bit of the longer chapter, but we will take it in stride. So, down to our small friends, the Eevees. Sakura cocked her head to the side. Lacerations to his torso was to suffrage. I took many of my salves and bandages. She gestured to one of the shelves. Metal jars placed there near empty. But then why are they fine now? Felicia poked and rubbed Connor's stomach and sighed. If it wasn't for the dirt bandages and dried blood, I would have thought they hadn't been. Oh, I'm sorry. Connor had started to squirm under her hoofs. Oh, you must be still be hurt after all. Only when I laugh, Connor managed to gasp out. And you're tickling me. Tickling? I think we surprised Sakura with synchronized face paw. Wilhelm, Yumega, and I did. Oh, for the love of, at least giggle next time. Wilhelm groaned out. You damn near scared the poor mare. Oh no, it's okay. Flasheye gently patted Connor's head. I was just so worried about you, especially after what Sakura told me. Yeah, we were in a rough spot there. Yumega pawed at the ground with his ear laid back. Could you pass our thanks? Of course. Flasheye turned to the zebra. I think they want me to thank you for them. They have this weird way of speaking that sorts of make them hard to understand. As if they were speaking with a Japanese accent. Zagora gave them a small bow to us. I did not mind. I'm glad they are fine. We gathered around the corner, whispering in hushed tones. Sakura went around her hut, taking stock of her herbs. Felicia started to walk around us. Every now and then, she would give one of us a tentative poke. Sakura, Felicia let a tail drop. I've never seen anything like them before. Do you know what they are? I may know creature near or far, Sakura shook her head, but had never seen these before. Maybe with that problem, Twilight could give to the core. Both Mara missed their eyes widen. Meg and I have informed the others about Twilight and how she might obsess over figuring us out. I saw the same fit through the other's head. I don't want to be a science experiment. Oh, Fletch seemed to shrink behind her mane. I can still understand them. It's just a little harder to understand them because I had never heard an animal speak like they do before. I just want to ask them. We let out a small sigh of relief as she turned to us. I'm sorry if this seems rude, but I'm just wondering if you could tell me what you call yourself? Do what I do, Yumega murmured to us before taking a small step forward. We are a kind of creature called an Eevee. Fluttershy tilted her head and opened her mouth, but Yumega cut it off. We would like to answer your question, but I'm afraid we are great worries. His eye drooped. Willem and I mimicked his movements. Willem had nudged the corner to cut on and lower his ears as well. Thankfully, the mares didn't note it. We were separated from the rest of our pack when the timber was attacked. There are 5 more of us lost out in the forest. I be damned either managed to get a slight warble at the last end there. I didn't even think Connor missed the verbal cue. Could you help us find them? Neither mare could withstand the full force of 4 puppy-dogged eyes. Oh my. Fluttershy quickly zipped forward and grabbed. Huh? I never thought she glumped you, Mega. She nuzzled Connor, holding him in a tight grip. It's okay. Just come with me and I'll get the rest of the girls. Then we can try to find the rest of your friends. She put Connor down and made her way out to the hut, with us quickly following. As we passed Sakura, Willem paused to bow to her before running to catch up. We made our way down the path of the Everfree. I dropped back and whispered to Connor, "Why do you Fluttershy Glampia?" "I don't know. I just what I felt my eyes warm up." Then she made eye contact. "Next thing I know, all I could see is fur." He shrugged. Will leaned forward. "You must have used baby doll eyes." I grinned. "Oh, I've got to tell you Mega about this. Ponies are suckers for cute thing." And nudge Connor. "We're gonna weaponize. Yeah. You'll be a VMIS." "What?" Prankster had shared the news with Omega, turning in my head enough to talk back. Weapons of mass squee. I could hear Wilman burst out laughing. I might have imagined feeling the warmth from Connor's embarrassed flush. Once we left the forest, we made a beeline to Fluttershy's cottage. We had just waited outside while she fetched the first aid kit. We watched the animals around the cottage to pass the time, until the Omega looked at the bridge. Her eyes stiffened up as the only warning before he got pulled into a nearby bush. "The fuck?" Omega smashed Connor's muzzle into the dirt, cutting him off. "Quiet," he hissed. "Twilight's coming down the road, and she looked like shit." I peeked out from between the leaves. Sure enough, I could see Twilight reaching the bridge. Her mane looked like she had unbrushed that morning, starting sticking odd ends and angles. She kept mumbling to herself, her eyes darting to and fro from time in her ramblings. She was too far away for us to clearly hear. She kinda looked like she did during the Smart Pants incident. I glanced at Omega. "You think that's where we are in the timeline?" He nodded as Twilight approached the cottage door. She started rapidly a hoof against it, a light but frantic manner. She barely stopped in time. Fluttershy cracked the door open. "Twilight?" Fluttershy put the first aid kit down and opened the door fully. "What, brings you out here?" "I was just wondering," Twilight began, too wide smile, "if there was anything I could do, friend, help you with?" Fluttershy nodded. "Yes, actually. Finally!" Twilight outburst. Fluttershy bolted behind her couch. We cringed back and covered our ears. "Does that answer your question?" Omega shot at me. I looked at him, answered the most eloquent I would muster. "What?" It took a few minutes, but we managed to coax Fluttershy out from her hiding post. Twilight couldn't stop apologizing the entire time. It took us persuading Connor to go back out there and use his baby doll eyes. But we did it. Now we were back in the forest. Fluttershy just finished catching Twilight up with our situation. "So, there are more out More of them in the forest? Twilight asked. We all nodded. Okay, I think I have a spell that can help. Hold still. She pointed a glowing horn at us. We felt fur being pulled off. I watched as it floated up from in front of Twilight's face. Soon, a lavender arrow pointed into the trees, a fur coating within. There! That should lead us back where they last saw the others. Whatever you little guys are. She started to trot off as a bounce in her step, the rest of us not far behind. The path of the arrow took us lead through several thorns and bushes and over a small creek. I don't remember coming this way. William looked around in worry. I think the spell is going the most direct route. Jamaica ducked his head under another branch, the route we actually took. Soon we came upon a familiar-looking rock. The clearing we had woken up in that day before sported the Twilight's magic as we sped into the clearing. Fluttershy staying near Twilight. Okay, we're here. Now what? She stammered to her friend. Now I'm going to try a. I used tuned them out at that point. I started to sniff around the clearing. The stench of the timber wolf clung to the area, but I could smell something familiar coming from under it. I followed around the clearing, nose to the ground and eyes closed. I could smell it getting stronger. Then I ran headfirst into Wilhelm. We both sat on our haunches, rubbing our sore heads. Wilhelm was the first to recover, getting a thoughtful look before sniffing the air again. I was to move past him when he buried his nose into my fur. Do you mind? I backed away from him. Wilhelm waved me off before moving over to Omega. Promptly buried his nose in the back of Omega's head and started sniffing. Then I turned and marched over to Connor and doing the same. The hell are you doing? Omega demanded, while Connor hunched over wide-eyed. Quinn placed his nose to the ground, sniffing furiously. I was getting your scents. I get to pick up the others from the damp. Getcha! He moved towards the clear edge, keeping his nose firmly pressed to the ground. Omega and I let out a small cheer and started following him. Soon, I could hear the two mares following after us. This time, our arrow mained back and forth. William even had doubled back a few times to regain the scent. Finally, he stopped at a massive grin. Then grin fell as he looked up. The tree he led us to, the same tree we had taken shelter from the wolves yesterday. We sat there, staring at the tree, while Fluttershy moved to the hole of roots, cooing and making such noises. Oh, come on, I blurted out. We were here yesterday. You mean we stayed here? If we stayed here, we would be all together? Connor asked. Vega shook his head. William rushed to the hole. Not likely. The Timberwolves would have been trying to get in, which would have scared the others away, and you would have likely bled out. William emerged from the hole. Good news, bad news, everyone. They were definitely here, but they moved on. Fluttershy nuzzled him. Can you find the scent? Track them that way? I don't think so, he shook his head. Even without the stench of Timberwolf, the stench of everyone is too muddled together. The scent of blood down there is too heavy anyway. I draped a foreleg over Connor's shoulder as his ears fell. Hey, it's okay. You didn't bleed out that much. Twilight, Fluttershy gasped. I need you to do that tracking spell again. What? Why? Twilight looked at us. I can't understand them all like you can. What's going on? Fluttershy pointed at the hole in the ground. They say there's a lot of blood down there, and that most come from one of the other group. Oh, where are they to go if they hurt badly hurt? Over to Sakura. Sakura finished making a mental list of the herbs she needed. As she moved towards the door, she heard an odd barking. Cautiously, she peered over the nearby window. Outside her door was a group of those odd dog-like creatures, one of which was barking at her front door. That wasn't made her rush out, though. It's what the other three holding up a fifth that was missing its leg. With odd distinct twinkle of her magic, Twilight pulled a clump of dirt from under a tree, with a fur beforehand. It was torn encased a large lavender arrow. The smaller arrow was pointing towards Connor, but the larger one led off to the distance. Without much thought to the pair, mares raced into the undergrowth. We followed up after sharing a worried look. I did not going to lie. Those mares can really run. We could only follow them by sound and crashing through bushes, though the broken bushes were also a good indicator on where to go. We didn't catch up for a long while, even then, just only because they had stopped. We were right back at Sakura's. The arrow moved slightly from side to side, but never past the tree she lived in. We didn't stop for too long. The world blurred along me as I rammed Sakura's front door. I bounced off it. It barely had enough time to clear my head when Yamega smashed into the door as well. As we had to show our effort, a pair of imprints on the Sakura's door of our faces, and a pair of splitting headaches. Damn. By the time the ponies caught up, Sakura had opened the door. With an angry word, she ushered us in and shut while she went to talk to Twilight and Fluttershy. We found and launched ourselves at the others' Eevees in the room. The many hugs and sheer tears shed. What happened to you guys? Connor asked. Shit happened, Vince stated. We all ended up under a large rock. There were two of those wooden wolves things outside our bolt hole. They just took off. Sai continued. I don't know why. Just that they were. Then they weren't. Ibs continued the story. We managed to find our way back to the clearing we woke up in, and Lulu started to sniff around. Once she got your set, she led us to this tree with a small hollow under it. We were about to leave when we jumped by the wolves again. Damn those bastards got Sana. Sai spat. I did a quick head count. We were one short. Is he dead? Lou shook his head. We managed to knock the wolves off him and get him out of the hollow, into the hollow, but he lost his leg. Pointed at Connor had lain last night. He's up there. We were able to slow the bleeding down, but even then, it was difficult to move him. Lula managed to find you guys' trails this morning and led us to this. This zebra has been looking after him since. What about the wolves? William asked. They didn't stick around long last night. It was almost like they couldn't stand it there. Jamaica looked at the mares. With a few final instructions, Twilight and Fluttershy left the hut. Sakura returned to caring for Zan. Okay, he motioned us into a bundle. This is what you need to know. It was late that night. Fluttershy and Twilight had left long before sundown. Sakura left several times during the the rest of the day, carrying more herbs and roots and whatever she needed. From what we could overhear, the odds were not in Zan's favor. He almost had to force Fluttershy out, promising that she could take look us over the next day. Her main argument was there wasn't enough room for us all to stay at the night, and we Eevees weren't leaving. After another very berry dinner and a few necessary baths, we bunked down for the night. I think only Zan actually got to sleep. Sakura would frequently check on him and speak of us were kept with worry. When the morning dawned, it was a beautiful, heartwarming sound. The fuck am I? Well, it was heartwarming, heartwarming at least. Sigurd kept us from jumping up and crowding Zan, but she almost intentionally kept up a running rhyming commentary for us. Long poem short. Although he was never get his leg back, he lost a lot of blood. He will recover. It was almost a complete turnaround from the day before. Fluttershy stopped by to check on Zan near mid-morning, but Sakura rhymed her to the cliff notes and promptly asked for her to take the rest of us with her. It took some effort of her part, but Fluttershy managed to ignore our pleading and caught her baby doll eyes. She led us to her cottage like a mama duck with her ducklings. The rest of us that day passed with her doing make work around the cottage, us sulking, then fighting the stress out of our system. I think it started when Vince was running around and ran Wilhelm over, then him to tackle Vince. Then Sai tackled Wilhelm to help Vince, and Omega got involved, tried to break it up. I jumped into the ball of violence after Lulu, but before Connor. Fluttershy had to break us up when she found us scrapping near a chicken coop. She gave us all a very stern talking to. We made all apologies to each other. The ceasefire lasted for about 5 seconds after she left. She did that a fair few times over the course of that day. But at night, more than one of us is sporting up brand aids and bruises. Angel Bunny won. That's Crazy Bunny. She let us stay the night in her cottage, but ended up crashing on her couch in a large pile. Though she tried to give us our own beds, our sleep wasn't easy, but we did sleep. When the morning came, our cuts and bruises were gone. Most of us got right up when Fluttershy brought us a large bowl of berries. I only woke up when I rolled off the couch. Needless to say, I'm lucky Wilhelm left me anything to eat. Fluttershy did her morning chores with a rush, then made us promise to stay at the cottage. She left Angels in charge of us before she left. Fluttershy was gone for the most of the day. She was briefly stunned when she came home. Her cottage where most of her animals were fine, but we were laying in a bruised heap with Angel sitting on top. She marched us all inside, scolding us the whole way. She washed our cuts out and placed us all on the couch. Only then did she open her saddlebags and pulling a sleeping Zan out and placing him on top of the pile. Sakura said that he will be fine now and will wake up in the morning. She gave him a sleeping draught to keep him from running off. He must have been really worried about you. Did I come home to find you all been fighting again? She shook her head. Hope you all been a better friend to him than you have been to each other. Miss Fluttershy, Omega John, we were only fighting to work off our stress and worry. It doesn't hurt that how doesn't hurt. That's how we get stronger too. The last thing I saw before I fell asleep was a surprised Fluttershy gaping like a landed Magikarp. And there we have a longer chapter. Chapter 4, 5. Yeah, 5. I'm hoping we are going to read one more, but my throat is taking damage from all the reading and having work all day. Yeah, I'm getting sore. So, probably for today. I see you next time.